in this economy, a lot of people are hurting out there, and I think it's going to get, not a whole lot better, a whole lot faster, than it is now. So, if you're behind the 8 ball a little bit financially, no matter what income level you are, there's help. I mean, a lot of government programs, some have income requirements, some don't, or whatever, but also it's services, free services for people struggling with debt, can't pay their bills or credit card debt, all this kind of stuff. I mean, the problem is we see advertisements on television or radio, people promising to solve your problem, and you're going to call them, and one way or another they're going to get money from you. And that's the pity with all this kind of help, is that all we know is what's advertised. And what's advertised, tell you the truth, are people, I spent a lot of money on advertising in my life, and I'm only going to do it if I could get money back. So it's the same way with these people. And the problem is when you have serious problems financially, you don't have extra money to give to somebody, but they'll finagle a way to get money out of you. They spend their, most of their life figuring that out because you're in trouble, you're in need, you find an easy answer, you think that's going to solve all your problems, and you're going to grab it. And then later on in the conversation, you'll find that, it costs you some money, but you're going to get all this money, so it doesn't matter. And you can't work that way, because 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, they're not going to solve your problem. You'll still have the problem because they're hoping that you think they're an easy fix, and they won't be an easy fix because nothing's an easy fix if you have problems and you have to go through it. Now, what I want to show you is the help that's out there that's available for those financial problems you have, whether it's debt, credit card debt, paying your bills, these kinds of things. There's only sensible ways to handle these problems. Sure, you could hope you win your lottery, but look at the odds at that. Don't. Try it once or twice, you'll see it won't happen. In the same way with most of any other quick things. Even though you see me on TV talking about, hey, just make one phone call and solve all your problems, it's going to take a lot more than that. Or it's going to take making the right phone calls. Because the phone calls we know to make are people who are going to get money from you. The phone calls you don't know to make are people who don't have advertising money because they're there to help you for free. They're paid for by nonprofit organizations. They're paid for by government grants, to solve problems like that in our community. And any place you live in this country, it's going to be different. There's no one phone number, one size fits all, or whatever problem. So what I want to give you today is where to go, all the places that are in your community to solve your financial problems, debt crisis, or bills, problems for free. And even though you think, free can't be good, I mean, that's nonsense because you have to at least try it, right? Sure, nothing works all the time. The same way you paying a lot of money for somebody to solve your problems, that's not going to work all the time. And you're still out the money. So it's silly not to try the free ones first. And that's what I'm trying to educate people about. And I've been doing this for 30-some years. And it frustrates me that the rich people know about this stuff because they used to hire me at tens of thousands of dollars and I'd show them where this stuff is. So now I devote my life to trying to help the average person know that these are tools and resources in your community to solve your problems too. So let's start. You have any kind of financial problems, first, actually, there's counseling services that are financed by HUD. There's thousands of them around the country. You go to the HUD counseling office. If you search on the web, I've interviewed people like that all over the country. See, I go in and interview these experts. So make sure that this stuff is real. Talk to them one-on-one. Talk to people who they've helped and things like that. These are real people, not just, dreams or, somebody who makes $1 zillion, overnight. These are people who really can help you. So that's the HUD counseling, and they're really there to help you buy houses, but any kind of financial counseling. And they know the programs and even what programs are available in your area and things like that. They know how to deal with creditors and will help you with all that process, and who's real, who's not real. You have to contact them. This is, to me, a no-brainer. It's free. So it may take you a week to get the C1 or something like that. What the heck? What'd you do last week? You weren't any further along. on the process. Now, another place that does that is your County Cooperative Extension Service. That's part of the U.S. government, County Cooperative Extension Service. They have counselors. I've interviewed them too, and they provide those services. They have even experts. They come in and they train the experts to help you personally. They even call up your creditors and arrange these things for you, and all that kind of stuff. See, remember, there's no one place. Most of us would like to make one phone call and get, a grant for $35,000 and solve all your problems. That may happen, and I could go out and find somebody if I research hard enough, that happens to. But most likely, 99 times out of 100, it's not. And you're going to have to work at that problem. And see, if you're hoping for that magic $35,000, you're still carrying around the problem. And you're going to carry it around longer because it's going to take you forever to find that. There's no one place like that. So the smart thing to do, the responsible thing to do is start working on the problem realistically. And that's what these people will do. And not anybody who's selling you stuff. These are people that help you for free. Now, there's another organization called the Community Action Agencies. This is an income requirement. The other two have no income requirements. But now a family of four is considered eligible if you're making like $40,000. So certainly, if you're out of work, all this organization can help you, and the income level. Now, what's nice about them, they know the basic income level programs. See, every state, every place there's basic self-help programs to give you money to solve certain problems, whether it's to pay your mortgage, to pay your rent, to pay your utility bills, to pay your phone bills, all these kinds of problems that if you're low to middle low income, that you may have problems with them, and so they know about those programs. See, so that's why they're important to contact, at least to know about the programs that are out there. They're called the Community Action Agency, and they're all over the country, so you're not going to miss them no matter where you are in this country. They're delightful people. I've interviewed a lot of these people to help you. Now, if you're a homeowner, remember there is a Weatherization Assistance program, and this is important because it helps you with your fixing up your house so you don't have to pay so much in utility bills. Because if you have holes in your house and things like that, or lousy windows, and the window guys putting ads on television or whatever to try to get you to buy windows because you're going to save all that money. Well, this program, the Weatherization Assistance Program, is all over the country again, and that will give you up to $6,000, $7,000 to fix up your home. Maybe your water heater isn't working well, and you're paying a fortune on that. So that is available. See, these are programs. Again, your contractors aren't going to know about them because they'd rather get your money up front from you. So you have to find out these things yourself. That's the thing that they don't advertise, so you have to find out about. Then there's a low income energy assistance program. And again, when it says low income, this program actually goes up to about $45,000, for a family. So that's right, low income. I used to think low income, well, you had to be destitute or something like that, but it's not. And there's so many people. You're working full time at Walmart and considered low income and eligible, for all these programs. So this is what our country is. It's a lower wage job that a lot of us have to suffer through as we go through life. So that's what these programs are there for. And if you think there's something bad about them, more power to you, and if you find another way, to solve your problem, okay, but they're here by law. The same way if they were a tax, if that was a tax break, like you could write off this, you could write off that, you would want to take advantage of all those tax breaks, just like the rich people do. The rich people hire tax accountants, tens of thousands of dollars to figure out how much they could get out of it. Well, people who don't have high incomes, this is the way the government gives out the money too, not through the tax code, but through programs. So in my mind, they're taking advantage of a program like this that helps you, with extra income is no different than taking advantage of a tax code. But because the rich people take advantage of tax code, that's where they get their money. and the rest of us have to find these other programs. I don't see the difference. As long as it's a program, we live in a democracy where everyone has access to it. Whether you're Donald Trump, Donald Trump could even apply to most of these programs, and he does apply to other programs. He brags about it in his books. They're there. This is the democracy we live in, so that everybody has access to these things. So that's the low-income Home Energy Assistance Program. So you find out about that. And actually the people who could help you with that too is your local community action agency. Now here's another thing, a SNAP program. That's a Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And they're talking about trying to cut that, in Congress now. And this, we used to call it food stamps, but it's really grocery money. You get up to $500-600 a month to help you with grocery money. Again, that's for families like making maybe $27,000 to $30,000 a year. And the numbers on this program have, I think, doubled in the last few years because of the recession. And they have, as long as people show up, they have to give out the money. That's it. See, there's some programs, they have to keep giving out the money no matter how many people show up. Other programs have a cap. This is one of those that has no cap. And so that's why a lot of people in Congress want to cut this out. And actually, I just said, they wanted to cut out like $40 billion on this program. And I was looking at the data at the IRS. That's the same amount of money that we give to millionaires who have a second home. So you're getting a mortgage tax break because you're a millionaire for the same amount of money they want to cut, for the supplemental food program. When I heard that, I said, why are we saving millionaires $40 billion and people can't buy food? Well, we're going to take it $40 billion away from them. That's why, to me, life is options, what we have. Now, there's another food program, too, called the Commodity Supplemental Food Program. See, you'll never remember all these terms. And that's the problem with you. But this is for people with children, infants and small children up to age 6, and also for seniors. So the Commodity Supplemental Food Program, and the same people who run the programs for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, the so-called food stamp, will know about this program too. So that's 2 there. The other neat thing is that you have to realize no one knows everything. Like me, I've been studying government programs for 35 years, and I still don't. There's new ones coming all the time. I can never keep up on them. No one knows. And that's why for you to think you know everything is silly. And even when you call a government office, because you're talking to one government office that has 5,000 employees, they have no idea what's down the hall, let alone what's in another government office. So to me, the key is finding people who keep track of that stuff, because if they know it all, then you use them, to help you. And here's one of them. It's the United Way local hotline, which is a 211 number. Wherever you are in this country, and I've talked to a bunch of these people who run these hotlines, and they're wonderful. They have staffs 24 hours a day normally that help you. Hey, where can I get help like paying my rent? Where can I get help starting a business? Where can I help? Because they have a database of all the people who give out things for free, whether it's money or help or expertise, whatever. That's their job. See, the United Way, I don't know, they collect money. When you give to the United Way campaign at your work or whatever, they're dispersing it to nonprofit organizations in your community. So they know most of them. And they also keep track of the government programs too. So it's a good place to call. Again, they won't know everything, but say, hey, I'm going to, I need rent money this month, or I need to get a vaccination and I can't pay for it, or I want to start a business, don't know how. All those kind of questions. You could call that 211, or go on the website, for your city, and look for 211 hotline for your city, and you could even search their database or call them. That's what people are for. They're helping. Another thing that people don't realize is, I think we don't use enough anymore, is your public library. I mean, I've interviewed a lot of librarians over the day, and they're there to help you. They know information. They know resources in the community. They're trained to do this, to find out, like I have been doing all my life. They do the same thing. They're for free. They're on your city payroll. They have researchers there, to help you find, hey, where do I find this? I need this. I don't even know how to use the computer. They even have courses to help you use the computer. You can even use their computers, and they train you. But even, any of the problems, you're looking for money to go back to school or something like that, or, gosh, your roof is in problem, or are there any programs, to help me get a new roof? They'll be able to point you, and again, they're free. You're going to call somebody, you see an ad, you Google somebody, on the web, that person, 99 times out of 100, if you Google somebody and you see them on the page, they're going to be somebody who wants to get money from you, because they're spending money to be on the first page of your search. So if you're looking for a new roof, you're going to put in roof or something like that, money for a roof. And anybody who's selling you that kind of stuff will be, spend money on the web to try to figure out how to get on your first page. And the people who don't spend any money, the nonprofits, the government offices and everything, they don't have advertising money. They can't spend money on advertising because they have to give it all to you. That's the law. So they're not going to spend money to be there. And they're going to be on page 35, and you're never going to find them. So that's important. Contact your library, contact the reference librarian, and they'll help you. I mean, there's so many people, the people I just mentioned, all those people, there's almost a dozen now that I've talked about. These are programs that know, and if they don't know, they could also tell you who may know. That's so important in getting information, is not only getting the answer to your question. If that person doesn't have the answer, then you say, hey, who do you think might have the answer? Because you're talking to someone that you called up initially or contacted even through email that they're in the same kind of business. So they may know other organizations that are trying to solve the same problem. So it's important to always ask. Never leave empty-handed. If you contact an agency or help or something like that, you want to make sure you ask that question. Hey, who else would you suggest to contact that may be able to help me? See, these are all the programs that you should be contacting if you have, bill problems, low income, credit card problems, all that kind of that burden that we all carry around sometimes, that we're in debt and we don't know what the heck to do. There's help out there. You have to use these resources. Open your heart a little bit, and be humble about your need. People want to help. I mean, it's a natural instinct. Sure, there's going to be idiots out there who aren't going to treat you nice. I get that at home too, so they're everywhere. But it's mostly nice people. And if you have that in your mind when you're contacting, looking for help, don't yell at people. Be nice. They want to help you if you give them a chance. If you're yelling at them and saying, you better help me, you lazy, shiftless bureaucrat, because my tax dollars pay your salary, you're not going to get much help, even though they have to help you. The important thing is to respect what they're doing. Admit that you don't know what you're doing. That's the best way to get help, because if you don't know what you're doing, then they want to help you. It's easier to help you. Now, here's another thing you should realize. If you have debts and people calling you up about debts, that you have rights. Under the Federal Trade Commission at FTC.gov, you'll find out how if debt collectors call you at certain hours a day that they shouldn't, if they treat you rudely and they shouldn't, you could get $1,000 from them. That's right. So if you know your rights, instead of calling, these people calling you looking for money from you, you could get money from them. And that's powerful. It gives you, power in the system, because you're thinking, I'm bad, I didn't pay my bills, and all this kind of stuff, so people have a right to abuse me because I didn't. They don't. Not in this society. There's laws and rules to protect you, but you have to know about them to arm yourself so you get the power in that system. And if you go to the Federal Trade Commission and you look for debt collection practices, they just sued a debt collector, for like $1 million because he was pretending that their debt collection agency was, hooked up with lawyers and things. They can't. That's lying. So, so you get money from these people too, and turn them in. Now, there's another thing. I think when all else fails, you're looking for help like that, is your elected official. I've talked to these people too. They're in business to help you with these problems. Even though, we don't think much elected officials, particularly now what's going on in Capitol Hill, but they do have access to resources, and they can make a phone call to these agencies or nonprofit organizations. They have staff people on their payroll. That's all they do is help people with problems, whether it's getting a passport or getting your rent paid or wanting to go to school or getting a better job. All these issues they're there for. And see, they're actually the only people in the system, I feel, have a real motive to help you. You call a government agency or a nonprofit, they're going to get the same money whether they help you or not. You call an elected official, and they have staff people that'll go out and find something that may be able to help you. And if they help you and they get you $5,000 to do something or $30,000 to go to school or something, you'll vote for that son of a gun no matter what they do, right? You'll tell all their friends or whatever. And see, they have the power to do that. So this is the fat cats use it when they're trying to get $1 million deals, and your vote is one vote, just like a fat cat who has one vote. So they want to do the same for you. And this is, to me, how to use the system. The system is being there to use because we live in a democracy. You just have to be clever enough and start understanding it and how to use it. Oh my goodness, time is running out. I didn't realize I'd be able to talk too long. So I hope this helps you. Those are a dozen sources now I gave you. Places to go when you have financial problems, for anything. Oh, and I forgot one other thing. There's one more, is for your mortgage. Okay, so if you have a mortgage on anything, condominium, housing, whatever, it's 1-800-995-HOPE. 1-800-995-HOPE. It's the Home Ownership Preservation Foundation. And they have now a dozen programs, government programs, that they'll tell you about. It costs you nothing, that can lower your mortgage. So if you're worried about paying your mortgage, or losing your home or anything like that, make that phone call first. Again, it costs you nothing. I've done it myself, helped family and friends or whatever. They tell you the options and things like that. And by the way, the new healthcare program, call that number too. So Healthcare.gov, because now, particularly if your financial problem, it's probably going to cost you nothing, and you'll get healthcare too.